What's up, guys? Welcome to the Warriors Report. Let's talk about our first win of the season. Finally, the Raptors have won a game. I never thought I'd be so excited for the Raptors to win one single game, but the way they have started the season, it's finally so nice to get that monkey off our back. We finally got that win. Now we can focus on next games. But let's talk about Pascal Siakam being disciplined by the Toronto Raptors. So I was really surprised. I got this notification right before the game, and I was really surprised, actually. I thought maybe they would have a talk with him, but for the Raptors to punish Pascal in a way where they would suspend him and not play him, and that was really shocking. And I know, for those of you who don't know, he was suspended because of walking off after he fouled out versus the 76ers last game, but again, I'm not going to lie, that was harsh what they did to Pascal, but I also feel like it's kind of a wake-up call. As a fan, I really loved it because not only the action he took last game, but kind of just, he's had a decent season so far, but he just does not seem interested at times, especially in the second halves of these 3 games where we lost. He just did not seem engaged at all, didn't seem like he wanted the ball, just wasn't really doing much, and I think suspending him was not only for his actions last game, but I think he was sending a bigger message, which was you need to get your shit together and start playing better. And I mean, they won against the Knicks. It was the Knicks, so but I'm so happy we finally won. Let's talk about some of the players today, and let's talk about specifically Norman Powell, who everyone wanted to trade, including myself, because he's been playing really poorly. But he went off. I think he scored 17 points, which is more in today's game than it was previous 3 games combined. I think he's averaging like 6 points. He was before today's game anyway, 6 points. So 18 points, I think, altogether in the 3 games he's played. But still, I mean, that was amazing. He finally got off to a good start, and it's so good to see him dropping threes, getting to the rim, scoring. He played a really good game, and I think he fits in with our starting lineup better than he does with our bench. He plays good with Kyle Lowry, and he played so well, and this is why we preach patience. Everyone just wants to get rid of players like it's NBA 2K. You can't just keep trading players because they're not playing good. It's a long season, guys. Be patient. And Norman proved that today. He played really well. He got inserted into the lineup, and they moved OG to the power forward, and Norman Powell was their small forward. He played so well. I was really happy, and I liked what I saw from him. He played well. He played a good game overall. He shot the ball well. He had good percentages. He drove to the basket. He got an and one. That was very nice. He played well together as a team. And he was doing a lot of things he obviously did not the previous 3 games, but it was just nice to see him get some buckets. And he played really good. And next I want to talk about Alex Len. So I've been so huge on Alex Len. If you watch my previous videos, I've talked about how I was so excited to watch him play in the preseason. I talked about my last game where I was predicting stats for each individual Raptors player. I was so excited to see Alex Len when we first signed him. We didn't really see much, and we finally got to see a lot of him today. I know we saw him against the 76ers, but he wasn't really doing much. And we even had people questioning why Alex Len was playing against the 76ers, which is a no-brainer because we can't be playing smaller forwards. Obviously, Boucher wasn't doing anything against Dwight Howard, so we couldn't really. He's our second real big man, and we needed to use him, but he really played well today. He shot 3 3-pointers and corner threes, which was crazy. Seeing a big man shoot threes like that, it's always crazy because especially when they start making, you're like, wow, this guy is actually hitting threes, and it was such a pleasant surprise to see him not only hitting those threes. We know he can hit those threes, but we really haven't seen him as Raptors fans hit them. He tried in a preseason game. I think he shot a few threes. He missed them, but it was nice to see him finally get those threes. He played really well, and as we have seen over the years, and as I've said this in the previous videos as well, Kyle Lowry just makes every big man that much better. He was playing well with Kyle Lowry, and I think he had one where he was about to dunk it, and he missed, and he even made both free throws, so... And I really like the fact that Nick Nurse was using a lot of different lineups today. We saw Chris Boucher and Alex Len at one point together, which was... I know a lot of people don't like it. I personally am a fan of that because I know Chris Boucher, we're supposed to play center, but he's more of a power forward, and he can't really guard players deep in the paint, and he ends up giving a little bit more rebounds and size-wise. So I really like that lineup. I liked how Nick Nurse was getting creative with his lineups, using different matchups, using different players, and this is what us fans have been ranting on about because we've got so much talent. Our team is really deep. We can use a lot of different guys for different matchups, and we saw that today, which was nice because it gives us, especially when you're playing Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet in the backcourt, you need some big players up there. They'll get you rebounds, and we always struggle with rebounding. So it was really refreshing to see Chris Boucher as a power forward. I truly believe, after watching a couple games, no disrespect to Chris Boucher, he had a solid game today. I thought he could have shot the ball a little bit better, but I mean he brought some energy to the game, and he was doing good in the fourth quarter. So I do think he's a power forward, though I don't really see him as a true center, and I don't even in small ball lineups I don't see him as a center. He's 200 pounds barely, not even. And I know we can use OG Anunoby, but traditionally you would like your big man to be a little bit heavier. And he, as good as he is at rebounding, he gets a little bullied when he's a center position. So I think we should use him more as a power forward. I was a really big fan of when we use Alex Len and Chris Boucher at the same time. It gives us more rebounding, gives us more size. So uh, I just like how creative Nick Nurse was getting with today's lineup, using different players, like I said. So hopefully this continues. Hopefully we get to see Malachi Flynn regularly and consistently in like actual games and not just garbage minutes, because I want to see him. Everyone wants to see him. So I really hope he gets some minutes. And let's see what Nick Nurse does, though, with his lineups in the next game. So I want to talk about Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet balled out today. He was absolutely amazing. He had that stretch in the fourth quarter where he's getting threes, he was hitting everything, and he was just closing. He was our closer for today. I know we always talk about us needing a closer, but he made those 3-pointers. He made a difficult one where he stepped back over a big man. I can't remember who it was, but he hit that 3-pointer as well. But he played so well today. I really liked what I saw from Fred VanVleet. Kyle Lowry played well. I mean, Kyle Lowry's Kyle Lowry. It's a surprise when he doesn't play well. So he's had an amazing season for the Raptors, and he's gonna do his thing. And Kyle Lowry just played well. But I also do want to talk about Yuta Watanabe, because Yuta Watanabe played amazing today. I know he played garbage minutes at the end, but when he was inserted in the second and third quarter, he played really well. You saw him defend. You saw him getting rebounds and boxing out players, which was huge because we give up so many offensive rebounds, and he was boxing out guys. And even in garbage minutes, you can tell he was really trying out there. He even got a block shot. He was bringing a lot of energy. He wasn't forcing his game. He's a big body, which we use, which is good again. And he's doing a great job on the board. He was getting those rebounds, and I mean, shout out to Utah. Anytime we finally got to see him play in a regular season game, and I think Nick Nurse finally listened to us, because we fans have been complaining about stretch the rotation, let other guys play, and we got to see a lot of different players, and we saw Terrence Davis as well. He played okay. And we saw, who else did we see today? We saw Stanley Johnson again. I think Stanley played well. I mean, he provides size. We know he's not really going to provide much offensively, but Stanley is who he is. But I like his energy. I like his defense, and he gives us size. And I think I may be a stretch to see this. I think he might become one of those players off the bench that Nurse is going to use 10, 12, 13 minutes a game during the season, because Stanley has been with us since last season. He kind of understands the system. Defense, obviously, he's a good defensive player. And again, I know people were hating on him last game, but it's like I don't get it, because he was in there to guard Simmons, which he did a great job. He did a really good job, and he also had that amazing putback dunk. So, I mean, he didn't really do much this game versus the Knicks, but he just gives us more size, so he can guard the bigger players like he did Julius Randle. So I thought he did okay, and we definitely saw so many more rotation players, and we finally saw Malachi Flynn at the end of the game for 2 minutes. Again, I wish we got to play him a bit more, but I think what Nurse is doing is he's going to set the tone. I'm sure Malachi Flynn, as good as he looked in the preseason, I know we all want to see him, and including myself, I'm so hyped to see him. I can't wait till he gets consistent minutes, but at the same time, he's a young player who's coming in. I'm pretty sure Nurse is still kind of showing him the ropes and the system and how the Raptors play, and I think that's why we haven't seen him play yet. And I know people were shitting on Nurse for not extending the rotation back. Guys, give him time. I think a lot of the younger players, a lot of the new guys too, I think they're still learning the system. We had a really short training camp, so they haven't really had a chance to fully learn. They also had only three preseason games, which is nothing really for a player to learn, everything about a Raptor system, offensively, defensively. So it was funny because we finally got our first win, and yes, it was because Knicks missed, seemed like every 3-pointer they took, but I mean, a win is a win. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna celebrate this a win, and hopefully we can carry it forward. It's a good way to, but like I said, I'm just super happy, and we were all shitting on Nick Nurse. We were all shitting on the Raptors, and I wrote this online. I've told a lot of my friends, guys, calm down. I know it sucks because we're all angry that the Raptors lost 3 games in a row, too, especially starting the season winless. But you gotta have faith in Nurse. You gotta have faith in the Raptors, and they played well. They played really, really well, and I mean, it was a good game overall. Obviously, we did have a few stinks there where, in I think the second and third quarter, where for a few minutes we couldn't buy a basket. We were after halftime we were even down, I think, like 5 points to the Knicks, which was crazy because I mean I thought we played well, but we have those periods where we can't really score much. So, but it is what it is. It's an improvement. A win is a win. I'll take it. And I'm excited to see what they do next game. I'm really excited to see how Pascal responds to this, because this was a big, like I said, this was really harsh for the Raptors to not play him versus the Knicks. So I was really shocked at it. But as a fan, you kind of like that because you're not gonna put up with BS behavior. When you're fouled out, I understand you were losing and you're gonna lose that game, but you don't just walk out on your team. You stick with your team through the wins, through the losses, and especially as one of the main guys, I don't think that sends out a good message. So I really like the fact that the Raptors suspended him, and I mean, we played really well without him. Again, it was just the Knicks, so I'm not really gonna get too excited, but I am happy they won. That's all that matters, and let's see how he responds next game. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to like this video, comment, let me know what you guys think. Till next time.